So I just want to apologize for the absence again. I was hoping I wouldn't take any more of those after I came back, but I ended up catching the coronavirus, which ended up being a lot more of an inconvenience than anything else. I do just want to address this real quickly because I know there's some sick and twisted people out there that get sexually excited when people get COVID after saying that it's not the end of the world. For the record, I always took the threat of the virus seriously. Even when I went to spring break at the start of the pandemic, I made a conscious effort to avoid touching my face and to wash my hands frequently. And I always wore a mask in public. I even wore one while getting a lap dance, so that's how you know how serious I was about that. So yeah, I was never one of those people that claimed that the virus was fake or anything. My only criticism of the pandemic is how politicized it is. And I haven't changed my view on that just because I got it. I'm still of the belief that as long as some safety precautions are taken, there's no reason why we need to stay locked down. The protests are basically proof of that fact. If you believe in the science that says that protests haven't contributed at all to the spread of the virus, then it just doesn't make any sense why we can't go to movies or go to the church or go to music festivals for that matter, since we now have evidence that proves that even mass gatherings of thousands of people are perfectly safe as long as they wear masks. I think that's a pretty consistent view to have, that if you support the protest, then you should be able to support most general activities. But now let's get into wrestling. So not much has changed since I last left off, so I'm just going to run down most of the things real briefly. So there was a brief campaign to push Naomi, which didn't end up leading anywhere. Apparently Sonya Deville is going to be taking time off due to a creepy stalker, which, I mean, that's kind of ironic considering her whole I hate Mandy Rose gimmick. Mickie James is finally returning, so maybe now she can finally get the push that she deserves. I don't think anyone would mind her winning the title from Asuka, and it's not like they have anything better for that title right now anyway. And Sasha Banks won the Raw Women's Championship for 2 weeks before losing it again, further adding to my point that she is the Marty Jannetty of the Horsewomen. You know, at this point, I wouldn't doubt if Charlotte came back and won the title from Bayley before Sasha does, because I don't think they're going to give Sasha the title before they can have live crowds again, and who knows how much longer that's going to be. So Bayley is probably going to end up losing the title a couple of times before then, which I don't know how much longer this is going to drag out, but the longer it drags out, the more sick people are going to get waiting for this match to happen. We've already been waiting 5 years and they're still teasing it. So I don't know if anyone's going to care when Sasha does actually win the title for real this time. So I haven't done this for a while, but question of the day. When do you guys think is too late for Sasha to win the title? If there is a too late. I'll respond to all the comments in my next episode of MTO Vision, which I promise you guys is going to be next week. I already recorded most of it, I just never finished editing it. Also next week, I'll be posting my Papas and Beer Club Experience video for anyone who cares about that, which is no one that follows this channel. But hey, if you ever got 30 minutes to kill, I promise it'll be unlike anything you've ever seen before. But anyway, this was just a real quick summary just to confirm to you guys that we are back again, and to expect a whole bunch of new videos starting next month. So before I go, I just want to leave you guys with this unreleased recording of my thoughts on the Naomi Deserves Better hashtag that I recorded early on, but just never finished editing. So here it is. So there's a movement going on to push Naomi after she lost a match to Lacey Evans last week, which I just want to say that of all the times to start a hashtag, this is probably the worst one. I mean, look, I get the idea. You guys just want WWE to push Naomi. But do you not realize that that's exactly what WWE was doing? The whole reason that they did that terrible karaoke segment the other week was to set up a Naomi versus Lacey feud. They did that specifically to give Naomi something to do. Just because she lost a match doesn't mean anything. It's a wrestling feud. They're gonna trade wins. If anything, her losing the first match probably means they were going to have her win the feud. Now sure, it's just a filler feud, but the fact that she even has a feud proves that WWE cares more about her than they care about Dana Brooke or Liv Morgan or any of the other divas that aren't doing anything right now. In fact, the entire reason WWE put her in this feud to begin with is because they see her as a credible star that can help put the new talent over. So the fact that her fans chose now, of all times, to fight for her honor just doesn't make any sense to me. It's kind of in the same vein of that smart mentality that NXT fans used to have, where they only want their favorites in the spotlight, but don't care about the rest of the division. I know that's not the intention, but that's how it comes off. None of the divas on SmackDown right now are being treated right. Alexa and Nikki are just fillers for the Boss 'n' Hood connection. Dana Brooke is just a jobber. Tamana just had his new gimmick nixed. Lacey was irrelevant as a face. Mandy is just eye candy right now. Sonya is just in Mandy's shadow. And Carmella isn't even on TV. Hell, every diva besides Sasha and Bayley is irrelevant right now. So why are we pretending like Naomi is the only victim, or even the biggest victim of bad booking? This isn't a knock on Naomi, it's a knock on the mentality. Lacey Evans is someone that's been long overdue for a push. She's improved a lot as of lately and has a lot of potential. It should be considered a good thing that WWE is trying to rebuild her character and that they consider Naomi to be the best star that can help put her over. This is a classic example of established star putting over the new guys, but for some reason, people are upset that Naomi isn't just squashing her every single week, and I don't get that logic. Naomi is already established. She can have a title shot at any point that she wants, and nobody is going to bat an eye because she's a top star already. Lacey is still developing, and the longer that she continues to flounder, the higher chance she has of becoming like Dana Brooke or Lana, to where at some point, she'll have been a jobber for so long that no one is going to take her seriously when they do decide to push her. But let's say Naomi did win that match. Now you just killed Lacey Evans' momentum and probably did irreparable damage to her career. And for what? So Naomi can get another title shot that she's just going to lose anyway? And even if she did win the title, what's the end goal? What do you guys want her reign to look like? To beat every diva on the roster and prove that she's the best? Isn't that the same thing you guys are complaining about Bayley and Sasha doing right now? Plus, do you really want them to give her another title reign just because you forced them to? That was the issue with her first title reign, was that it felt like they only wanted to give her a WrestleMania moment just to shut her fans up, but they didn't actually want her to be champion. So sure, you can force them to make her champion again, but you can't force them to make her reign good if they actually don't want Naomi to be champion. Because all that's going to happen is the same thing that happened last time, where she's constantly overshadowed by the divas who they do want to push. This is the point that Booker T was trying to make. If Naomi is going to be champion again, it should be because WWE plans to make her champion. Otherwise, she's just going to be a placeholder champion and you guys aren't going to be satisfied. And then when she loses the title again, you guys are going to be pushing her to win it back and have a good title reign this time. I mean, in all honesty, does any diva actually have a good title reign? Even the ones that keep the title for long enough, like Becky Lynch did, at some point, people were getting sick of her as champion as well, and they were getting bored with her reign. But the point is, I just don't get the logic of this hashtag Naomi Deserves Better movement right now. Now, if it was just a little bit of a movement to just get Naomi a little bit more TV time, then that I can understand. But even so, I think right now would be the best time to start a movement for the entire division again, since no one in the division is doing that good. And I don't like the idea of only focusing on one particular diva and trying to push them. Now, this isn't just about Naomi. I've been complaining about this mentality for years. I complained when they did it with AJ, I complained when they did it with Paige, I complained when they did it with the NXT divas, and I'm not going to change my opinion now just because they're doing it with a diva that I actually like a little bit.